I'm actually a former professional basketball player.
And what makes it interesting to ensure that there is true deflation.
The analytical aspect.
I see you like to bring those tough ones over here, but all right, let's have it.
What are the core emotional touch points you're trying to tackle?
It's just something that not a lot of games people think about.
Hello and welcome everyone to this exciting edition of the Pitch Session brought to you by Saakuru Protocol. And I'm your host, Mariusz Lanskis. You can find me on Twitter as CloudFX/M. I'm a VP of Web3 at Saakuru Labs. And I'm thrilled today to dive deep into the future of Web3 gaming and decentralized products. Just a very quick disclaimer. Nothing we are going to share on this video is actually an investment advice. So please make sure you make your own research and you consult with a financial advisor who has actually a license for this. So in this fast evolving world of Web3, there is often a lot of hype about different products. There is buzz, and a lot of coins and a lot of tokens are based on the buzz they are creating. However, there is frequently a missing element of diving deep into actual substance of these products. How strongly their tokenomics are, how strong their DeFi aspects are, how valuable their DeFi model. And at Saakuru, we are committing to bring a transparency and education. And also we are leveraging our expertise and network to bring the best people who can comment on these things and expose that to our community and to our audience. In today's session, it's not about showcasing an innovative project, but it's also about reinforcing this commitment to high quality educational content of Web3. We will explore the tokenomics of the Basketballvers. We will explore the basis of the game, and we're gonna help you to get a more high quality information about these projects. So what is Basketballvers? The project we are featuring today is an immersive Web3 experience that combines the thrill of the basketball gaming aspect, especially the street basketball gaming aspect, enhanced with the power of blockchain technology. Basketballvers is set to revolutionize the digital basketball scene by offering a very unique gameplay, engaging community features, and also a robust economical model powered by their BVR token. And we're going to talk about their BVR token and DeFi aspects a little bit later. Players can take roles as ballers, club managers, and arena owners, each with its own unique set of opportunities and rewards. Whatever it's unlocking signature moves from the real-world basketball stars or managing thriving virtual franchises, Basketballvers promises to deliver a comprehensive and rewarding experience. So we are here with Simon, the COO of the Basketballvers. Welcome here, Simon. Maybe you can do a quick introduction about yourself.
Of course. Hello, Marius. Hello, Revenant. Pleasure being here. It was hell of an introduction, Marius. I don't know if I can even beat that, but I'll do my best. Of course, starting with myself, as you already said, I'm the CEO and founder of the project. The background of mine is that I'm actually a former professional basketball player, hence why I'm the one building the product related to basketball. Even though I shifted my focus towards tech over 10 years ago, basketball is still in the roots of, in my daily routine. I wake up, I watch basketball news, I go sleep, I watch basketball games. That's my way of relaxation. So yeah, but once I finished my career, I shifted my focus towards tech. So now I've been in tech space for over 10 years already. My background comes from software engineering. I also had a pleasure working at Unity, which is a game creation engine, had a few e-commerce projects of my own, and at one point even had a pleasure working as a director of operations at crypto exchange called NXchange. And now I'm basically combining my two biggest passions, which is basketball and technology. I'm working on Basketballvers for the past 2.5 years already. And yeah, happy to dive deeper into everything today in the session.
Welcome here, man. And what would be your message to the community? What should they wait in this video? What will be revealed? What will be the interesting things you're going to expose to us?
So, of course, I will do my best to dive deeper into what we are building, what we were able to achieve so far, what is on the horizon. Why do we think we are so to say special? Why do we think that someone should keep an eye on whatever we are doing? Either you are a fan of technology, Web3, Web2, or basketball or sports in general, I think there is a little bit of something for everyone.
Glad to have you on board, man.
Likewise.
I remember the first time we met. It was really, really nice experience. Cool. Okay. And now it's a very special point because in every pitch session, we're going to have a special guest, the person with an extensive technological and investment background. So today we have a Marcus Revenant. Welcome.
Yeah, GM.
Welcome on board. Welcome on board.
Yeah. So hey guys, I'm Revenant. I do a bit of gaming duty for our community, which is one of Asia's biggest niche community out there, with like the biggest CEOs and everything. I'm also an angel investor of Saakuru's latest round, and previously I came from a gaming background, essentially esports. I was a former pro gamer. I represented Singapore and Southeast Asia for about 12 years in games such as Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and Dota, and the lots. So yeah. And right now I'm also an advisor to a few companies in the space, at Blocklots, Conviction Labs, and Atlas. So yeah. And from time to time I also help Saakuru vet a few deal flows that come into the game. So yeah.
Awesome. Let's see if we can convert you to the advisor of the Basketballvers after this pitch, because I know that you don't have that much detailed information. So let's see how this pitch from the Simon can actually open some new collaboration opportunities. Okay, so for our viewers right now, you should sit back and get ready for a really interesting and valuable content in the session. Remember, this session is not just about the presentation, but it's also about learning what makes Web3 product really stand out, really differentiate from other things which are in a market. An important thing to mention, Revenant, between slides, or if you want to ask any question or want to stop Simon or like ask him for more detailed explanation, feel free to just raise your hand and go ahead with your question. So Simon.
For sure. Yeah.
Is that clear? Okay. So Simon, now you can fully take over, start sharing the screen, and go through what Basketballvers has to show.
So as mentioned, we started 2.5 years ago, right? We are at the stage where we still haven't launched the token. We didn't do any kind of NFT sales. We've basically been busy the whole time building the product, expanding the community, expanding our network, diving deeper, in everything Web3, etc., and preparing for the times like these, which we call the launch times. I'll be talking about the token, I'll be talking about the game itself. So what Basketballvers is in itself, it is the very first cross-platform online basketball multiplayer in Web3, which is powered by a single deflationary utility token, BVR. The best part of this, as I at least can see it, is that it is inspired by the two best games of their genre, Rocket League and NBA Street. I will touch a little bit more on that a bit later. And since it is related to the third most popular sport in the entire world, it just only made sense for us to power everything we do with the basketball culture itself through such things as athlete and global brand integrations, digital entertainment, and IRL fandom experiences. Again, I will be diving deeper in each of those aspects a bit later. The whole project is in the hands of the people who has experience working at such companies as Unity, NBA, EuroLeague, Nike, Fortnite, EA Sports, Epic Games, and so on and so forth, which, as we can see, is a perfect combination when you're trying to achieve what we are. And one of the best parts is that when it comes to the market penetration, and when we're talking about Web3 itself, so, we have great specialists when it comes to the Web2, when it comes to the building communities, building user base, etc. But when it comes to the Web3, it's a totally different game. There are different rules over here. So we partner up with a company which is responsible for the top IDO of 2024, which produced over 37x. In general, we are on a mission to become the biggest basketball IP in Web3, where we would provide tailored online and offline experiences for basketball, gaming, and Web3 fandom. Now, I will be diving a bit deeper into the product itself.
So Simon, I'm going to interject here. Can we go back to the last slide? So 2 questions from there. So the first is that you mentioned that BVR is going to be a deflationary utility token. So right now we know in Web3, every company is going to say that they're a deflationary token. So what makes BVR a deflationary token, and what makes it interesting to ensure that there is like true deflation?
That is a good question, but I do believe that I will be answering that in my next slides when I will be touching more on the tokenomics, on the token design, and etc. We definitely going to touch on that.
For sure.
That's what I will even have graphs supporting, whatever I'm saying.
Awesome. So and then the second question is that you said this is going to be led by esports, and the thing with esports is that in the esports region itself, basketball games and like football games like FIFA hasn't been like the most popular games out there, like in terms of like in comparison. So like how would you say you will want to create this to rival the likes of Dota 2, Valorant, League of Legends, and like the big boys out there?
That's a good question, but I don't even think that we, yes, of course, we should be trying to compete with those type of fellas, but it's all about, it's all about the target customer. You can't make a person who just loves playing Dota now just shift his mind to start playing basketball game. So I guess we will be doing our best to climb that ladder over there. But the market is big, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna find our spot in that chair.
100%, love it.
I'm loving the questions, Rev. That's a very good experience, because that's exactly what people don't get access to. Is actually very targeted questions during the pitch session is what people don't have access to. They're basically always have to rely on just marketing information online. So thank you for these. That's amazing.
So moving forward, now on the product itself, right? So we are saying, that we are combining the best of Web 2 and Web 3 worlds. Now, let me try to touch a little bit on each of those parts. So as mentioned at the beginning, our game is inspired by two best games of the genre, Rocket League and NBA Street. And for those who don't know, NBA Street was one of the most popular arcade-ish basketball video games back in 2005, 6, and 7. Whereas Rocket League is, if I'm not mistaken, currently the 5th most played video game in the entire planet. Now, the reason I'm mentioning these is that, first of all, our on-court gameplay mechanics are inspired quite a lot by what NBA Street did very successfully, meaning our game is also very fast-paced, it has an arcade-ish flavor, and it is made in a way so you would have fun from the very first moment that you put your hands on it. What that game was missing, though, was the real-time online multiplayer aspect, meaning you couldn't play that game online. Of course, you could play it as a multiplayer, but you had to have your buddy sitting right next to you, plug two controllers in the computer, and that's how you can have that experience. But nowadays, it's a totally different game. So we have integrated the real-time online multiplayer layer. Our game could be played by anyone across the globe in real time. And where the Rocket League example steps in is like touching on whatever I just said, but also the way you can play that game, meaning that you can play 1 against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 3. But what's most important is that every character on the court is being controlled by separate people. So with this kind of a setup, you have a perfect environment for the growing the esports ecosystem, because you can team up with your buddies, team up with your community fellas, team up with create a clan, etc., and engage in a real-time online basketball battles on the virtual street court. Another thing I will mention is that our product is a cross-platform because we're trying to have as broad accessibility as possible. Right now, it is accessible through web browser, Mac and Windows build, and eventually it will be accessible through mobiles as well as through consoles. Now, when it comes to the Web3 worlds, what you see in front of you is, I would call them, the majority of the people will probably call them buzzwords such as, digital asset ownership, computer mechanics, real world value, ecosystem, BBR token, and so on and so forth. But behind all that is a like pretty precisely crafted out tokenomics, how the world token design is what kind of role does it have into the world ecosystem. That's actually where Marius and Saakuru Labs stepped in quite a lot and helped us out, because they are specialists in the space. So we had quite a few workshops on this aspect. With the full write-ups on how everything is going to be integrated into the whole product, but I don't have those visuals from me right now. Lastly, the whole product is in the development for 1.5 years already. It is currently, the alpha version of the game is currently publicly available. So whoever wants to give it a try, you can go to our website and you will find the access to it there. In the past, we did quite a few alpha testing campaigns, and we have to say that with over 5K testers, the feedback was nothing short was phenomenal. That everybody said they really enjoyed playing it. They would love to play it again, and they would even recommend it to a friend. So this is pretty much about the product. At the end of the presentation, I'm also happy to share the screen and walk you through it. But now, as I can hear, I got some more questions.
Awesome. So like you mentioned about 1.5 years of like development, and you guys have done quite a couple of playtests. Could you tell us like what are some of the metrics that you guys have received for your playtest? For example, like net promoter score, like customer service satisfaction score, like player sentiment and analysis, and everything. Like in terms of, and how would it compare like to the rest of the market, or like even like traditional Web2 games, or like just so like the users we know that, hey, these guys know what they're doing. You guys know what you're doing. You guys know that this could potentially compete with something that is already outstanding in Web2. So yeah.
That's a good question. I don't have all those numbers in front of me right now or in my head, but the whole feedback loop was focused on, because these were the first times when we were testing the game, or this was the first time when we were putting our product into the hands of the people who never touched it before. So the whole focus was on trying to understand what kind of aspects of the product, how people are valuing different aspects of the product. For example, how many times are they utilizing the dunk button? How many times are they utilizing the crossover button, or special moves, blocking, etc., etc. Then what do they think about the movement mechanics? Do they like the way that the ball is being passed? Do they like the speed of the player, etc.? These were the things that we are trying to identify and know, so we could understand which parts of the product are at the level where people already are enjoying, which parts of the product are where people think that there could be some improvements. So all of these insights gave us a really good kind of an overview of what kind of things we should be focusing more on our next sprints, on our future roadmap. But the general look and feel of players playing the game was satisfactory. I don't have the exact numbers though.
Love it. I love the way of that, like and like how you guys go through like each core mechanic, whether the UX was gonna be fun, whether the UX was like smooth for players, and like it's essentially what you want to do in playtest as well, like to make sure that your QA is right and up there, and right approach. Love it.
Of course, I think that what contributes here a lot, that I do come from the e-commerce background as well. I had quite a few e-commerce projects on my own, and with those e-commerce products, when you are selling something online, and when you're trying to scale, the way to do it is just to run some tests on every part of the equation, and trying to identify where's the biggest drop off, what's working, what's not working, etc. And I think this principle works quite good over here as well. Of course, we have very good game developers, game designers, and constantly having those conversations. But my extra overview from the e-commerce world definitely contributes, when it comes to these type of things.
I want to follow up with a question about the analytical aspect. So you mentioned that you basically were tracking the customers' interactions. That was one of the metrics, right? But you also mentioned customer satisfaction. So that was tracked through the surveys after the gameplay, or what was the exact process?
Mm-hmm. So we basically had a leave feedback button on almost every step of the way throughout the game itself. Once you log into our game, there is a button leave feedback, because we didn't want to collect the feedback only after the world testing, because we know that the experience can change within the first 7 days of playing the game, for example. So the very first day, you might find everything very confusing, and maybe on the second day you already think, okay, now I understand what's happening over here, etc. So we're collecting feedback every single day through as simple as Google Form.
Cool. What would be really nice if you could collect those numbers after this call? We could make like some nice charts or a presentation on satisfactory data, like summarized data, and we can put it visually, so we can rely a little bit on that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we already we have a Medium article covering all of that, so it will be easy to grab it.
Awesome. Let's go.
All right, moving forward. So, powered by basketball culture. So, what does that mean? As mentioned in the beginning, I'm a huge basketball fan, and it is the third most popular sport in the world. Even it is a very global sport. It's growing very fast. In Southeast Asia, it's already big in Japan. It's huge in Australia, United States. I'm not even touching that. So we have basketball fans absolutely everywhere. So that being said, it only made sense for us, to initiate other initiatives which already has a proof of being rewarding, already have a proof and has data-backed statistics that it is something that people are looking for. So the way we did this is, first and foremost, with establishing our own basketball-focused podcast where we do exclusive interviews with industry celebrities. So our podcast is already up and running. It's called Courtside Culture. You can find it on our YouTube channel. And the lineup of guests is nothing short but phenomenal. That includes NBA players. That includes EuroLeague players. That includes basketball agents. That includes people who are managing basketball organizations, and so on and so forth. So, we just create a platform where we allow those people to come in, provide their maybe untold stories. We touch a little bit on Basketballvers itself. We play a little game with them, and also trying to collect their feedback. Then, since we are bringing these type of people into our ecosystem, we then also doing a celebrity fan engagement initiatives through such things as live Q&A sessions, virtual meet and greets, autograph signings, even doing a side event on one of the major crypto conferences, and bringing an NBA star over there and providing a chance for the people to just connect with that person. Athlete and brand integration. So what does that mean? When it comes to the athlete integrations, so we have a very interesting and unique spin over here. So once we do a partnership with a basketball player, and one of those is already presented, it's Mo Bamba, as you can see over here, Mo Bamba from LA Clippers. So once we do a partnership with a basketball player, so outside of bringing him to the podcast, outside of doing a celebrity fan engagement initiative, we also are integrating that player's signature moves that he is performing in real life into our game as in-game power moves that could be utilized in order to gain an advantage against your opponent. So this not only enriches the gaming experience itself, but it also creates, again, an additional layer for the sports fan, for that player's fan to connect with their favorite basketball player. Now, when it comes to the brand integrations, think of it this way. There are tons of companies who build their businesses on top of the basketball game, so there's a very big spectrum of what kind of brand integrations we can do. And some of the examples is a co-branded digital and maybe physical merchandise collection that that players can wear when they are playing Basketballvers. Maybe a power-up such as speed booster with the energy drink, some recovery booster, and those type of things. So this is the type of stuff that we are looking forward to doing. And what we've been recently doing quite a lot is the cross IP integrations through such things as creating a custom branded basketball courts within our game. And we actually already created one for Saakuru Labs. You can go and check it out on our timelines. Last but not least, IRL community benefits. What does that mean? That means that we are looking forward to collaborate with real world sports brands, where our goal would be to deliver exclusive and interest aligned membership benefits to our community. So think of it this way. We have over 250K community members across different social media channels. The majority, if not all of those fellows, are sports-oriented people. So what we're doing, we're going to the brand and we're telling them, hey, guys, we have the access to a very big chunk of probably your direct customer. Let's do something mutually beneficial over here. So what that usually ends up being at is that if we reach some kind of agreement, we are doing either a community activation, with whatever they're doing, if that's product, digital product, physical product. We maybe bringing them to our podcast, and we may be creating some social media posts to bring an extra awareness of whatever that sports brand is doing. In exchange, we're getting some kind of benefit to our community, and that usually is either their product discount, maybe even free giveaway, or priority access if that's a basketball game or something like that. So yeah, this is the general overview of the whole product and what we're doing and where we're heading. I know it was quite a lot, but just to summarize, think of it this way: we just all we are doing, we are gathering like-minded people, basketball-oriented fellas, into one place, and we are creating an environment where they can engage with their favorite sport through various online and offline experiences.
I love it. I love how you're setting it with like celebrity fan meetups and everything. And I love how like people are getting to meet their favorite basketball celebrities, and it's all like very cool utility. So like I guess my question right off my head is that like we know that there's NBA Top Shot as well in the crypto space. Like how do you plan to take like mindshare away from them as well? Seeing that they're doing something like a fantasy league, but they also have like huge partnerships with a lot of basketball celebrities. And like what do you think, in your opinion, would be like the changing factor to becoming like a decently strong game? So yeah.
NBA Top Shot is playing a different kind of game than we are. We are very immersive experience, where you can just come to the community and you can, if you like this sport, or it doesn't matter if you like basketball or you're just, a sports fan in general, you can feel it right away when we are talking with the other sports fan, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an environment where those people could come and they could feel like they are home. And they can, find like-minded people, etc., and then they can engage into various basketball-oriented experiences. And the experiences that we are providing is a totally different, from what NBA Top Shot is providing. Now there are two paths. We can try to recreate something what NBA Top Shot is doing and provide a competition to them, or we can do some kind of collaboration through the lens of the eyes, where I just mentioned that we, doing partnership with sports brands with the goal to deliver some kind of benefit to our community. So, with the way I see it right now, I would be more of a fan to doing some kind of a collaboration with them and just extend, the benefits to our community through that collaboration.
Awesome. And I really love how passionate you are about like gaming and esports and like basketball and everything. Like, so I guess in my mind, my question is always gonna be this: like, for traditional sports games or like esports games in general, how do you plan to intersect between like hardcore gamers and like people that do sports? Because we do know that there are segments of people that enjoy gaming as well as doing sports, but there are also the extreme versions where it's either people that are gonna be only gaming or people that are only going to do sports and not ever play games. So if these people are like hardcore basketball fans, how would you convert them into, one, gamers, and two, into crypto gamers?
Let me start with this. It all starts with the team. So I'm really proud to say that we have a team member who is an ex-head of gaming of Dallas Mavericks, which is an NBA basketball team. He actually was the one who set up the very first esports basketball team for the 2K league over there, and now he's leading our esports division, and putting together the strategies on how the whole ecosystem could look like, and etc. Now, in terms of the conversion, the way I see this and the way we see this at our company is this: at the core of everything that we do is still our video game. That's where we are putting the biggest focus at. All of those other things is, just some extra nice things that comes in an additional value. And of course, there's going to be a very fair share of the people who never going to go and do one or the other. But I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a very big share of the people who at least going to give it a try. They might start liking it, and they might want to start, digging a bit deeper into it, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to the, if you would say on the gaming side of things, when it comes to Web 2 and Web 3, I am like 100% sure that there is a huge amount of people in Web 3 world who are playing these games, that we are creating in Web 3 majority for the financial benefits. This is their main motivation, and they're gonna be with you for as long as you're gonna feed them with the money. And then there is, and then there's the Web 2, gamers side of things, and those people are looking for, they are motivated by other things, and there might be some overlaps, but I do believe that some of the Web 3 gamers could never be converted into the very passionate Web 2 gamers, because their motivation is just from the very different side of things. All you can do is try to create an environment where you can capture both, and that's what we're doing. We're trying, also to create a wall environment where only the Web 2, where a gamer can engage with the game only through the Web 2 experience. So he wouldn't, need to touch anything Web 3 related, because at the end of the day, we don't want the technology to stand in the way of the person, to onboard with the product and, start playing the game. So if he doesn't know nothing about Web 3, he trying to give it to him might be just, dropping him off. So yeah. All we can do is try to set everything up so we could capture both parts of the industries.
Okay, so maybe we can dive a little bit into the Web3 part a little bit more. I would like to hear about like DeFi aspects of the game, and a little bit about like tokenomics, NFTs, all these sort of things, because I know you have like quite an interesting content regarding that topic.
Yeah, of course, happy. I'll start with the NFTs. So we have 4 different type of NFTs. So ballers, which are the players that you're playing the game with, digital merchandise, merch, in-game boosts such as speed booster, jump booster, recovery booster, etc. And last but not least, signature moves that are based on real-world basketball players. Now, so these are going to be 4 different type of NFTs. Now, when it comes to the tokenomics, token design itself, like the way everything looks like right now. So, of course, everything starts with acquiring the token, and you can do that either through fiat purchase or just buying on the exchange and so on and so forth. Then, so this is the step where we are. So once you acquire that token, this is your BVR balance, and the way you can increase that balance is through various different activities. So that includes daily engagement, such as logging into the game every day, doing a daily mission, which is win maybe 1 game with this specific player, or perform 5 blocks, and etc. And that's how we can get extra points, which could later be converted into the BVR itself. Then there are PvP aspects. So basically, that you can go ahead and engage into a player versus player aspect. So for example, what you can do, maybe me against Marius, I put 10 BVR tokens on the line, Marius putting 10 BVR tokens on the line, winner takes 15, 5 goes into the treasury, where half of that is being burned and the other half is staying within the treasury. Then there is a staking aspect, and through staking the token, you're getting various benefits outside of generating yield. You're also getting various benefits within the game itself. So maybe faster recovery, access to some extra special items, and so on and so forth. Then there is a tournament aspect. So, for example, we organize a tournament or a season, so to say. People coming in, have to pay some kind of an entry fee. So then we have that entry fee. We have a very big prize pool, but of course then we have a treasury which is constantly growing through other activities, and you can increase your BR balance through reaching top positions in the leaderboards. Special events, leaderboard rewards, I think those speaks for itself already. Referrals and event-based bonuses. So this is basically about certain, I would say, coming from the e-commerce aspect, how to increase the user base and how to reward people who already are enjoying this game, how to reward them for bringing them friends, and just have this constantly growing loop. All right. So once we have that BVR token, what you can do with it within our environment. So you can spend the BVR on various things. One thing I will mention though is that you can also spend. You can also acquire these things not only with our BVR token, but also with fiat or stables. Because again, as I said a little bit earlier, We don't want the technology to stand in the way for people to get on board and within the product. So if they don't know how to acquire BBR token through exchanges with a fiat, etc., we want to make sure they have different ways of doing that. So with the BBR token, you can access premium content. So, for example, very rare cosmetic, very rare signature move that are based on LeBron James, for example, if we're going to be fortunate enough to do a partnership with him. Then you can access the tournament. So this is something I mentioned a little bit earlier, that you need to pay an entry fee if you want to engage into the tournament. PvPs, again, coming back to the example where I put 10 BBR tokens on the line. Marius putting 10 BBR tokens on the line. Pre-sale, so for example, if you have a certain amount of tokens, you are staking them, that gives you the access to various early drops of in-game items. Then it's special items and season passes. So this is basically, let's talk about the season pass. This is similar to the staking approach, where if you have a season pass, you paid a one-time fee. Now you have the season pass for the whole season, and with that you're getting also various in-game benefits. The next thing is crafting NFTs, baller cosmetics, boosts, and special moves. So this concept is a bit different. It's a bit more unique. So, for example, you need to. Okay, so let me give you an example. So you're going through the game, you are increasing your progress, you're increasing your skills, and etc. For example, you have reached a certain level, and with reaching that level, now we have the opportunity to craft some kind of a rare NFT. So what does it mean, craft? So you get the item already and that you can use within the game environment. But if you want that item to turn into an actual NFT that could be transferred to the other person outside of the environment of the game, you need to craft it, and for that you need to spend the BBR token. Either spend it or stake it, depending on what is the logic behind it. Next, staking. I think we touched on that a little bit already. And last but not least, benefits from branded tournaments, in-game ads, socialify, and gamify quests. So think of it this way. Let's say we have a very big amount of people who is already playing our game, and then we have some Saakuru Labs or some extra brand coming and saying, hey, we want to put our brand in front of the eyeballs of the people who's playing the game. So one of the options to do this is they are paying us a fee, and we create a custom branded basketball tournament for them. So let's say Mockaverse, for example, saying we want to tap into your audience. What we can do then is we can create a custom branded basketball court, a custom branded digital merchandise, which would be branded after Mockaverse, and create a dedicated tournament just for them, where their token could also be integrated, into the world prize pool, stakings, and so on and so forth. In-game ads, I think those speaks for itself. Socialify and gamify quests, I think, also speaks for itself. So that's how we, as a company, are collecting the revenue, either in BBR tokens or in fiat or stables. All of that is going into the one pool, where we then do the split into the equal parts, 25% in buybacking our token if we're generating the revenue from fiat or stables, burning 25%, 25% putting into the treasury for the tournaments and other events, and rewards for such things as leaderboard events or special activities done, and so on and so forth. So this will be the walkthrough of how the BBR, like what kind of role does the BBR have into the whole ecosystem.
I love how comprehensive it is, and all of this is actually very similar to a project that I'm with and I'm doing at the moment. And a lot of this, I would say, depends on the inflection point of whether you can get all of this going from 0 to 1, whether you could get player liquidity, whether all of this would be worth it. And to that note, I would say that we have all these exciting things that sounds very exciting, like spending on revenue share, half of it going to the treasury, buybacks, and everything. And essentially, what would you say is your way of getting enough player liquidity to make this whole flywheel work for you guys?
I would like to add a little bit here.
Yeah.
So one of the great things for us working with Basketballvers over here is that we have an opportunity to craft a middle layer for blockchain interactions. So when you have all these sort of in-game mechanics like NFT crafting, PvP, pre-sales, etc., one of the things, and I don't think we are actually going very public with this yet, is that we have the comprehensive library and APIs, which allows games to embed all of these without actually no solidity coding, like go on chain for all of these things, like starting from the fiat on ramp and then like crafting all these in-game elements. So this is their Basketballverse was super handy for us because we had an opportunity to actually work directly with the game and get a direct product requirements. So yeah, so I just wanted to say thanks to Simon, and yeah, let's go back to the questions.
Yeah, so I guess the easier or the more harsh way to rephrase the question is like we have seen a lot of game companies this bull run as well do this exact model where we have like fiat purchases easily available. We have like token buybacks and everything just to support like selling pressure. We have staking. We have like premium access for like better passes and season passes that people can spend for like 10 USD to get like more premium content. And we have like branded tournaments as well, like branded ecosystems, branded arenas, branded stuff. And the question is like, what will make us different? What will make Basketballvers different from all of those to stand out from like the hundreds of games that are doing this in the space? So yeah. And I know it's a very loaded question, and it's okay to have like no answer right now because as of this point of time, like there hasn't been a crypto game that has been successful in doing so. Everyone has this like beautiful model, and we all know that wow, this sounds like so exciting, and this sounds like it's gonna work. And if it does take off, like if we have like 1 million users, and if we have like a 1 million revenue daily volume and everything, and everyone trading, this is gonna be so exciting. People are gonna be like, wow, shit, you guys are burning like half of it. You guys are burning like 500k worth of revenue each day, and like the token prices will keep going up and everything. But what happens before that? How do we get from 0 to 1? Is the question.
Good question, Aaron. I see you like to bring those tough ones over here, but all right, let's have a discussion. Look,
yeah,
the very simple answer to this would be through trial and error. You need to go ahead and try things, see what's working, what's not working, improve the things that are not working, and try to get to that level that you want to get at. Now, what kind of things that we are trying, right? One of the, I'm always trying to see if there are any low-hanging fruits, and one of the lower-hanging fruits that I see is, do partnerships or engaging with platforms whose sole goal is to bring to their platform amazing games, because that's how they measure their success. That's how their users gonna be, satisfactory. So we engaging with quite a lot of, as you can say, game marketplaces, game publishers, et cetera, and we're trying to put our game absolutely everywhere. So quite a few, there are quite a few platforms that we did these partnerships with already. There are, some of them are announced. So that includes Playground, that includes Games.gg, that includes Carvey, that includes Elixir Games. Actually, we are having a tournament with them next month, fully sponsored by Elixir Games. This is an example of what I was trying to say. They are very motivated to, capture the market with as many players as possible. So they would start engaging with their launcher. All we need to do is just capitalize on that. We just entering their technology. So that's one thing. Then another way is through, as mentioned, powering by basketball culture. So basketball players and their fame has a huge power. If a person likes this specific basketball player, you can actually think as an influencer. A lot of people are buying stuff because they trust this influencer. Same works with basketball stars. If they trust this basketball player, they like this basketball player, it will definitely going to increase the chance of them going ahead and testing whatever they are involved in. So that's another way of what we can do is, But that's only the first step. The very first step, is just putting us out there so people would see that Basketballvers exists. The second step, and again, I'm talking about the funnel, such as in e-commerce, everything's pretty much the same. Second step is make sure they have a very streamlined process on getting onto the product, getting onto the game. Then the third step is how do you make sure that he spends here more than 1 minute? Then the next step is how to make sure that he's going to come back. Next step is how to make sure that he's going to invite his friend because he's had such a great time over here. The way I see it, you have to do all of this at the very beginning with no financial walls, meaning so you could engage with our game because if we would be, I don't know, top level EA sports company and we're producing a new game, so we already have our name, a lot of people are trusting us, and that's how they're gonna come and they will be willing to spend $100 up front in order to start playing this game. We are not there yet, so what we need to do is we need to create an environment where they can engage with what we are doing for free. We need to grab them. We need to, establish our very strong community base, and that's where we can, start monetizing them very little by little. And that monetization should happen, through such things as elevating their experience, either that's a financial experience or just in-game experience. So a lot of multiple moving pieces comes into all this, but we love what we're doing over here. We're doing our best.
Awesome. Love the answers. Love the detailed breakdown as well. So yeah. Marius, anything from you?
What gamification frameworks are you using in your daily game development process? Like, what are the core emotional touch points you're trying to tackle? And overall, I'm interested in the game design specifics you're applying.
That's a good question. I will be transparent up front that I believe this question would be best answered by our actual game designer, but I will try to give a summary of what I have gathered through our daily meetings, weekly meetings, etc., etc. So first and foremost, starting with what I said at the very beginning, that the game is inspired by two best games of the genre, Rocket League and NBA Street. So everything starts with doing a lot of analysis, what they have done successfully. Outside of those games, we are also looking at quite a lot of what Supercell has done very successfully, such as Brawl Stars. I'm actually a big fan of that game, even if it's just a mobile game. But the whole framework, the user journey, etc., is something that could be a lot learned from. So we, starting with that, we are analyzing the best games of the industry, and we're trying, to identify what they have done good, what they have done wrong. But I could identify, and name you any kind of specific frameworks. Even though I do remember that we had a discussion with you about it, I don't really remember. I brought that to the team. They did analysis of that. I just don't remember the name of it. But there are quite a lot of good examples of that framework that you showed me in our last meeting.
Okay. One question. Would it be possible for you, Revenant, and Simon, this is a question for you. Is it possible for you to play one-on-one right now? That would be super cool.
Yeah, so just create an account real quick. It's a very streamlined process, and here we go.
Okay, so maybe while we are waiting, Revenant, you can maybe share like your own insights before you go to demo. Like from what you know so far, what are the weaknesses and strengths of the Basketballvers?
I would say like the strength is that you guys are led by really solid people with like really good minds and the minds in the right place. So I really love how thought out all of these are, and like the details, the tokenomics, like the goal behind it and the dream behind it as well. And I love that you guys are embracing the esports vertical of it, because like I'm also a diehard esports fan. I live and breathe it for like the past 20 plus years, and like I like similar to Simon as well. Like I'm someone that watches like StarCraft or like any like even games like Valorant that I don't play anymore. I watch them to sleep. I watch them sometimes when I wake up when I'm bored as well. So yeah, and like I do think this is something that is worth capturing. That being said, esports in Web3 is very hard to execute. Like it is niche enough as like esports in Web2 is niche enough as a market because of like how new it is and like people's openness to it. Admittedly, the past decade has been much more friendlier to esports, like in the sense that people don't think like it's an addiction anymore, and people don't think like gaming is like a have a negative connotation to it. But it's still like a very nascent market that requires a lot of financial backing in that sense. That would mean that to execute on like esports tournament, a lot of time it comes down to sponsors to break even to your circuit. And like I would say that if you are able to find like a solution to this, like, and to make like an esports part of Basketballvers profitable, that would be an awesome breakthrough, especially in Web3. So yeah.
One quick reflection. You mentioned about esports and basketball being very niche in Web3. Let's talk about how many every single day we have new first-person shooters. How many every day we have MMORPGs. It looks like every game out there in Web3 is only those games. Now, when it comes to basketball or sports in general, not too many. So there's the two sides of every story. Just wanted to give it out there.
Yeah, I think it's really true. Like on the note as well, like in Web3 there's like dozens of like FPS games right now, and admittedly in terms of like game design, like FPS is one of the easier ones to design out as well. And like basketball itself is very, very unique and very niche. And like what I mean by esports being niche is that it's just something that not a lot of game studios think about, and like it's just something that is not easily executed. Like there's been only very little games that have like done esports sustainably over like a long period of time, like say 1 or 2 years, and like otherwise it's just like a sunk cost. Like people like game studios treat it as just a marketing cost, and it burns like 5-6 figures a year. So yeah.
Okay, I think when it comes to Web3 aspect, what should be in the very near future is making the games really accessible without no Web3 friction. Like we still don't have like actual real on-chain games, like many real on-chain games with actual like assets and interactions on-chain, which are really Web3. Like most of them are mostly Web2 with a little bit of Web3 aspect. So this is going to be really interesting because Basketballvers will be one of the game which will be quite a lot on-chain. So, and we are very happy that they choose us as a technology partner. Okay, so Simon, maybe we can go with a demo. I think people are really interested to see how the game is played.
Sounds like a plan. Are we good?
Yep.
All right, cool. So as mentioned, the game is accessible right now through in 3 different ways: through web browser, Windows and Mac builds. So I will go ahead with the browser version right now. So what we see right now is a very straightforward login window. So I'll just put in my details. Give it a couple of seconds, and here's the lobby. Here, everything's pretty much self-explanatory. You have the option to go ahead and play right ahead. You can check your profile. You can check the leaderboards. Your personal performance and where do you stand in the global leaderboards compared with others. You have a leave feedback button. You can check out the controls and quit the game. So since here everything is pretty much self-explanatory, I will go ahead and press play. What you see in front of you right now is 5 default characters that you can choose from to play the game with. Each of those has different capabilities, different skills, physicals, and even looks and feels. Eventually, you're going to see here only those characters that you have in your account or in your wallet, so to say. We have created a character generator that is capable of generating up to 10 million different unique looking, different capabilities having characters.
The yellow dude is me after the gym. And
it's you after the gym. Okay.
And the dude from the second from the left, this one is basically me after I'm lashing out with the food after the hard work day.
Well, good to hear that you identify yourself with already almost the half of the players that you see in front of you.
Sorry for interruption. I usually don't like to skip opportunity to make a stupid joke. So
no worries at all. So let's say I'm happy with one of the players. I can press customize, and then I land into his, so to say, player profile. What I can see right now over here is his more information of what this character is about. So, for example, I press here. I can see his physicals and skills, what kind of level he's at. Next thing I can do is I can equip and unequip those signature moves that are based on real-world basketball players that I mentioned to you about at the beginning of the presentation. And then I can customize the way I am dressed. So let me just do a few quick changes so you would understand what I'm talking about. Changing my pants, applying Timberland boots, bucket hat, and even a Bitcoin chain. All right. Once I'm happy with the way everything looks, I can just press save, and my next step would be go ahead and press play. All right. So yeah, next step, choosing the way you want to play. So we can go ahead and play 1 against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 3. But I want to calmly show you everything, all the capabilities. I will be jumping into the practice court. And here we go. And actually, what you can see is an overtrip basketball court. What does that mean? Is that this court has been created in the collaboration with Overtrip, which is another Web3 game, which had quite a big success so far in the industry. And here I am. So, since this is a basketball game, everything is pretty straightforward. I'm running around the court. I can speed up. This is an arcadish flavor. Once I do those speed ups, my stamina is getting reduced. I can dunk the ball or shoot a layup. I can simply shoot the ball. Then another aspect is that the ball never goes out of bounds. It basically bounces back, from the side of the court. That's with the idea to make the game as fast as possible, and it basically never ends unless someone scores the points or someone reaches the 21-point mark first. Then you can see here on the lower left corner, we have those signature moves. So, for example, if I want to activate the first signature move, I can see that it has the value of 50. That 50 means that my power bar has to be no lower than 50 at the 50 level. Once I'm utilizing that power move, so for example, let me show it to you. Here we go. This was me utilizing the power move. My power bar got reduced to the 50 level, and now I'm waiting for it to get back again. Since I'm the only one on the court, there is so much that I can show. But then, of course, you can steal the ball, you can block the ball, and that type of stuff.
Do you already have the offline mode?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Okay, is there a plan in the near future? Because before I go to PvP mode and betting 1 against other, for example, someone like you, I would like to grind a little bit to make sure I'm.
Yeah. So this is what the practice mode is for. That's where you can just be jump in here, etc. And eventually, we're planning to integrate the bot that you could play against to practice all of your skills. But yeah, here we go. This is a basketball game. Let me just make a final shot because we're playing up to 21 points. And I'm the winner against no one. Here we go. This is the game.
Cool. So, Revenant, do you have any more questions or we can wrap it up?
Yeah, I think this looks good. I love that it was start in a street basketball settings as well. And I'm sure you guys can do like professional basketball scene, basketball leagues and courts and everything. This looks nice, and yeah, I think this is awesome. I can't wait to see how you guys execute your esports vertical as well. Whether it's gonna be 1v1 or 3v3, or maybe it's a league format where it's a series of 1v1s and one 3v3 match to determine it all. So yeah.
I think we should organize the ARC community tournament with special prizes from Saakuru. What do you think?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I will be wrapping up. Thank you everyone for joining. First of all, thank you Revenant for joining. Thanks Simon for presenting. That was a great. Thank you for all the viewers who watched until this point. For this first episode of the pitch session brought to you by Saakuru. We hope you enjoyed exploring Basketballvers. We hope that you enjoyed actually the experience of one-on-one encounter between the person who is very known in the tech industry and who's also doing the investments. He has a lot of experience in the gaming industry, so he can ask very specific targeted questions. So I've seen there were some tough questions for Simon, which I really enjoyed. I hope our community and our watchers will go back and we'll see how sometimes tough is to answer some of those investor questions or judges questions. So first of all, don't forget to press like and share. That's very important for our for Saakuru YouTube channel to grow. Also, don't forget to press a huge subscribe button click under this video. And if you want to stay updated with what Basketballvers is doing, you can follow them on Basketballvers Twitter channel. I will leave the links in the Twitter. Actually, all the references will be not in the Twitter, but under the video. If you want to follow Revenant, you can also follow him on Twitter. You will find the reference in the link down below. And of course, Saakuru Labs. Thanks to our guests, thanks to our viewers, and until next time. Ciao.
Cheers. It was a pleasure. See you again.
It was a pleasure too. Cheers.